Hi, this is Lakshmi Chaudhary, founder and editor of Splainer.in. Welcome to our daily news wrap called What the F Happened Here. We make it easier and fun to know what's up at the end of every day, and we do it in about 5 minutes. So here's what you miss grumbling about Manic Mondays. Don't know if you've been paying attention, but things are getting kind of crazy over at Ivy League campuses. Last week, students set up tents in the middle of Columbia University's campus in New York. It was supposed to be a protest against the war on Gaza. Think of it as an American college version of a dharna. Meanwhile, the president of the university, Minouche Shafik, was being grilled at Congress for not doing enough to crack down on anti-Semitism. Of course, she made all sorts of promises to do more. And to show she was serious, on Thursday, Shafiq sent in police to take down the tents and evict the students. Over 100 students were arrested, and anyone who was in the encampment was suspended from college. Of course, all this has just pissed off the students even more. And the protest grew even bigger over the weekend. To complicate matters, there are now reports of some Jewish students being verbally harassed by some of the protesters. Now, there's great hue and cry over Jewish students feeling unsafe. A rabbi has asked them to leave campus to save themselves. Other Jewish students who support Palestine have come forward saying they feel perfectly safe, thank you very much, etc., etc., etc. In any case, things are bad enough that many classes are being held online. And this comes in the middle of an election year. So Republicans are blowing this up even more, saying Joe Biden can't control those rioting liberals. Well, those students aren't backing down anytime soon, and more crackdowns will just make them even feistier. The only good news is that summer holidays are around the corner and most of the kids will go home. Time to talk about cooties. According to new research, certain kinds of bacteria are hungry for our blood. Scientists studied 3 types of germs: Salmonella enterica, Citrobacter cocceri, and E. coli. All of them are bacteremia, which means they invade our bloodstream, and all of them cause serious disease, including intestinal bleeding. They found that the bacteria are attracted to blood. They take less than a minute to detect even microscopic amounts of it. So how do they do it? In the case of Salmonella, the germ detects an amino acid called L-serine. The mechanism is probably the same for the other 2. It shows that the bacteria have evolved to seek our blood as nourishment. Researchers call this Dracula-like behavior bacterial vampirism, no doubt to reassure the rest of us. Sounds like the plot for the perfect horror flick. Attack of the blood-sucking germs. Sticking with bacteria, did you know that they've invaded space? The International Space Station is now home to many mutant varieties of germs. The original lot was carried to the station by astronauts, but they have since changed to adapt to the unique conditions like microgravity, radiation, and higher levels of carbon dioxide. What's really alarming is that the dominant bacteria is something called Enterobacter buginensis, which also causes severe infection. Even worse, it has muted to become resistant to drugs. Eeks! We don't know how these bacteria will affect astronauts, but it's certainly not good news for them. Every year, Uber India puts out its Lost and Found Index, listing all the things people leave behind in its cabs. There weren't too many surprises this year. Delhi remains the most forgetful city in the country, followed by Mumbai and Bangalore. We most often left our phones behind. Laptop bags came in at number 2. Android folks will be happy to note that Apple users are the most careless with their devices. Among the oddest items left behind, a ukulele. What's interesting is the difference between India and global lists. The rest of the world isn't quite so careless with their phones or laptops. Clothing came in at number 1. Other folk were also most careless at night, around 9 or 10 p.m. Our peak hours for forgetfulness seem to be during the evening commute, between 6 to 8 p.m., because we Indians can't wait to get home. As always, we end with something to see. Today, we have a young and dashing Amitabh Bachchan in the new teaser for Kalki 2898 AD. He plays the role of Ashwatthama, the sage from Mahabharata, in this dystopian science fiction flick. But the real leading man is Prabhas, who plays Kalki, the last avatar of Vishnu. Let's hope it turns out better than his outing as Lord Ram in Adi Purush, which was a big fat flop. By the way, Kalki has a budget of $75 million and is slated to be the most expensive Indian film ever. That's it for now. Be sure to check out Splainer's daily edition every weekday morning. It has all the news you need to know, served with a generous dollop of fun. I'll be back with the next edition of What the Happened Here every weekday evening. Be sure to follow us so you don't miss out, and I'll see you tomorrow.